Hi, so my name is Phoebe. I'm currently in San Antonio, Texas. I'm from Corpus, but then came here to go to school. I always knew that I wanted to be something with pregnancy and childbirth and women and babies and families. This is very, very young, so I decided I would be an OB-GYN. And all my life, that's what I was going to do, all through school. This is what I'm going to be. And then when I got a little older, like sophomore in high school, I realized when people would talk about their birth with their OB-GYN, it was normal and what you would expect. And like, oh, I had the baby. A lot of them had C-sections, most of them were induced, just very normal, common occurrences. And then I had a few people who used a midwife, and when they would talk about their experience, they talked about how they loved their midwife and they were friends with their midwife and their midwife was there for them and breastfeeding was easier and their birth was just so amazing and they felt accomplished and blah, blah, blah. It was like night and day. And I realized I wanted to be remembered as the midwife and I wanted to do work like the midwife and I wanted to make families happy that like the midwife versus the doctor. And I know doctors are needed sometimes, but anyway. So I wanted to be the midwife. And so I was a sophomore in high school when I came to this conclusion. Unfortunately, my dad is an engineer and he wanted me to be an engineer. I didn't really think twice. I just went right into engineering school to please him. I kind of thought I would graduate with my engineering degree, work, then go to midwife school. So I did engineering for 2 years. I just finished this past May. I got about halfway and realized I hated it. It was a waste of time. It was a waste of money. It was a waste of everything. It was horrible. So I decided I didn't really care what anybody said and I was going to be a midwife. So I did my doula training in April, saw my first birth in June, and here I am. And I run into a lot of problems occasionally where most women who want to be a midwife had their babies with a midwife and they just loved it, so they wanted to be like them, or they've been a doula for X number of years. Almost all of them have children, not all, but most. And I have no children. I had never seen a birth. I didn't even know a midwife personally, but it was just from reading books and researching that I came to this conclusion. So it has been hard. That's been a challenge. People, well, you don't have children, how do you know? And, but I'm working through it. I know for sure this is what I want to do. I've never doubted myself, so it's great. It's wonderful. And vision of practice, my husband's actually in medical school here in San Antonio. So he wants to be an OB-GYN. I kind of maybe influenced. He loves midwives. He thinks if you're healthy, you should be going to a midwife. He's so supportive. He loves to watch births with me. It's great. So our vision is that one day, hopefully, we could maybe open a practice together or we could at least work with each other. Him just be ultimately so supportive of the people, of my clients. If I have a problem, I can send them to him. He would still do family-based things and still listen to them. So that's the ultimate goal. However, there are many, many birth centers here, and they're amazing, and all the midwives here are great. I would love to work with some of them as well. The communications here in the midwife world seem to be pretty okay. I work at one of the birth centers. I've met with a couple of birth centers. I have met with other midwives. And it really seems to be they all know each other. There hasn't been any strife. They have doctors that, when they transfer a patient, they call the doctor of their choice, and that doctor is there for them. So the whole community, there's more hospitals are putting midwives, well, they're nurse midwives, but still putting nurse midwives into their hospitals and having that option, and doulas are so welcome. So really, I can see the community here trying to understand this midwife thing and why people are choosing them and trying to accommodate. So it all seems really good. I mean, maybe things will change as I get more into it, but right now it seems to be really, really great.